I'm gonna do a thing I swore I'd never do. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Salty Flyer with another video. So, there's a pseudo-religion out there in YouTube land called EDC, otherwise known as everyday carry. Its adherents watch lots and lots of high-speed, low-drag tactical guys dump their pockets out on tables to show you what makes them tick. And as I'm out of ideas and I'm waiting for some parts to come in the mail, I figured you might want to hear what your favorite medium speed, moderate drag sort of tactical guy carries around, but with a biker perspective, with a biker twist, if you will. What goes into the bike? What do I carry in the saddlebags? And I'm a person to go riding. We might even talk about pew-pews. We might do that. I know YouTube doesn't like it, but you know, we'll see. Maybe I'll just say they're all airsoft. Anyway, let's get started with what I carry on my 24 Street Glide in the saddlebags. Okay, so first and foremost of importance are tools. You never know when you're gonna break down, you never know what you're gonna have happen, and either you or someone you ride with is probably might have an issue. So tools. So this here is from Cruise Tools, and it is a great toolbox, or tool kit. You may ask yourself, why is it shaped like a teardrop toolbox? Well, that's because it came from my old bike and it had a teardrop toolbox. I actually put one of those 1940 style toolboxes on. This fit right in there perfectly. I'll put a link for Cruise Tools in the description. They're really good stuff. As you can see here, all the stuff you need. I even threw a couple of extra Torx bits in there just to make sure you got ratchet driver, tire pressure, deep socket, vice grips, open it, box head wrenches, you name it, it's in there, including a little polishing cloth. So absolutely something you want to have on the bike whenever possible. Next, some odds and ends that are gonna seem kind of silly. First, this little fella right here. What is that? If you look at my award-winning video about adjusting your suspension, that is the spanner that you use to adjust the suspension on the right side of the bike to dial that collar down, to dial in your shock rebound. I don't think I have a better place to put it, so I put it there. Likewise, another thing I carry around, this little fella right here. What is that little wrinkled mess? It's your cover for my heavy breather cone, or heavy breather snorkel exhaust. Do I think that a rainstorm's gonna snuff out my motor and cause infinite water damage to everything? Probably not, but it might rinse off the oil and eventually it would cause some damage. So keep that in there. If we get caught in the rain, throw it in there. Other thing you carry in there, always, 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 is a hat. I'm bald. I don't know if you've noticed that. I know. I've made my peace with it. You get to where you're going, you probably want to have something on your noggin there to keep the sun off, unless you feel like walking around with your helmet on, which, hey, you do you. Got this one on a trip to Bend, Oregon there from Wild Horse Harley Davidson. Shout out to those guys. They were super cool, and just kind of a cool stock hat that I got at Harley Davidson. Last thing I keep in this saddlebag here, I know it seems dumb. One of those. I know, right? But here's the thing. You go to rally, you go to a county fair. Hell, I go to a brewery, sometimes I have a beer and it's a gravel parking lot. Sometimes you get to putting the kickstand down and you get that really awful pit of your stomach feeling like, I don't know if this thing's gonna hold up. Remember, 800 pounds of bike, contact patch about the size of your thumb. This thing spreads it out. It's worth its weight in gold if you ever had to park on a bad, unimproved field. So another thing I always carry is this little fella right here. Which right there is a Airmoto tire inflator. And it should have battery power on it. You take this little guy out, screw this little guy in, and there you have it. You now have a tire inflator. And it acts kind of like a poor man's tire pressure gauge too. You turn it on, hold the button down, turn it on, and you can see right there, it'll show you what pressure it's set to and what pressure you want to have it at. And this thing works great. I actually do have a tire pressure gauge separate from this, but this thing's battery powered, charges with a USB-C cord. Dial in the pressure, it tells you what it's at, hit the button, and it charges it, it pumps up the tire to whatever pressure you set it to. Totally awesome. And yes, it's battery powered. And yes, I'm a huge nerd. I'm such a nerd that I actually have a reminder in my phone every 90 days or so to pop this thing out and plug it into the wall. So that covers down on the everyday things I carry in my saddlebags. 24/7, we never close, they live there. Then there's a category of things that I like to take with me if I'm not just popping down in the street to go to the store, riding to the dealership or something. If I'm going on a trip or I'm going a distance, there's some things I like to throw in there that I think are really good insurance policies to have, and I always don't leave home without them. So if you watch Pro Monkey, you'll know that he had a first aid kit designed by the good folks at Refuge Medical, who are a great company, designed specifically for the injuries you might sustain riding a motorcycle and get into a crash. I have a product from them already, their Fact Min, which I've already had since before then, so I didn't want to get another one. It's not inexpensive. It is super high quality product. They're a bunch of former combat medics that have a lot of extensive training, and they design a kit based kind of on your need. So this one actually lives in my backpack, my daily backpack that I take in the truck with me when I go to work every day, or if I go camping with the kids, and then I will take it out and throw it in the saddlebag. It's not super big, hand for scale. You can see on the outside, tourniquet, surgical shears, and then the whole thing opens up. Opens up, pull tab, and then you're off to the races with all kinds of stuff that you need. Why do I say this? Hey, when you're in the service, a lot of soldiers will carry a FAC. It's usually to be used on them. FAC just stands for first aid kit. If you're rolling around, you might be the one that rolls up on someone. If you ride for a long time, you're gonna roll up on a crash. Someone's gonna go down and they might hurt themselves real bad. So this can help you with that. I will say this has got boo-boo stuff and it's got some heavy trauma stuff. Get training. Get training, get training, get training. It's worth your weight in gold. Be value added in this situation. Go get a Stop the Bleed class. Go take a trauma course. It's totally worth it. Anyway, everything in here is American made. They're a great company. In fact, when I ordered this, they actually sent me a text message with a little video clip of a guy at the company putting my kit in the box, shipping it out, and wishing me a great day. Like, just really solid salt of the earth people. Can't recommend enough. Link to their website in the description below. They do have the Biker FAC on sale, or this one. Pick something out. Just travel with the first aid kit. You might be the hero. So another thing that I usually bring on any trip is this guy right here. Power. It's a power bank. I know what you're gonna say, especially if you're a street glide or road glide guy. You've got that power plug, you can plug your phone in. Yeah, you can, absolutely. And it should charge while you're riding, no big deal. However, this is a little bit slicker than that. This is the Poseidon Pro power bank by a company called Dark Energy out of Utah. And this thing is pretty slick. First of all, hit the little button here, it'll tell you how charged, the lights will light up, it'll tell you how charged it is out of 4. On the top here, you've got a weatherproof cap that has 2 USB-C and 1 USB-A out. This thing's bulletproof. It's drop proof, it's waterproof, it's the business. It actually has enough power in it if you're an iPhone user, or I guess Android, they're people too. It has got enough for about 2.5 to 3 full charges of your phone if it's fully charged up, depending on how low your phone gets. You can also plug anything that takes those accessories in there. It even has a low power mode. You can hit a button so it won't overcharge things like your earbuds if you just get to a hotel and you want to listen to music at night or something like that. Really solid, really dependable. Once again, made in America. You know me, I'm a stickler for that kind of thing. And then you got power. It'll charge any of your equipment. Say you're a medium-sized YouTuber that wants to charge a camera. Got you covered. So that I always carry with me when I'm on a road trip because you never know when you need power. Okay, so that pretty much covers what I carry on the bike. Now we'll get into what I carry on me, which is a little different. And we'll end up with the most controversial topic of all, where YouTube will probably nuke me. So let's get started. Now we'll start on knives. Knives are not only a whole video, that could be a whole dang channel, but here we are. So for starters, sometimes you want to carry a boot knife. So this guy right here is from a company called Tactica, and it's a fixed blade. And it is a fixed blade boot knife. I call it a boot knife. It actually comes with this hard plastic sheath that you can, I do this without stabbing myself, hard plastic sheath with clip. It comes with this hard plastic sheath with clip, so that you can actually clip that. I typically rock this down inside my boot. However, you can clip it to a belt if you want to carry it outside the waistband on your belt. And it's got these lash up. I really wish I could get this thing to focus. And it's got these lash up points on the outside here. So you could lash this up to some kind of more tactical or backpack thing. Plus it's got a lanyard loop, etc. Fixed blade knives are cool because they're tough. My daily driver, however, is this guy right here, which is my Spyderco Paramilitary 2 with magnet cut steel. Yes, steel's a whole thing. It's a whole deal. This one's pretty tough. It holds an edge pretty good, and it's just super useful. I like a plain edge on these. I used to carry one Benchmade that had a half serrated, which was good if you were cutting a lot of rope. I find myself not cutting a lot of rope lately, so I just go for the straight edge, the plain edge, because it works real well. It's a really nice knife, made in America, and there you have it. Next, got to carry your ducats. I am not against people that carry the biker chain wallet, the leather 2-snap wallet with the chain. That is a classic look. You do you. I unfortunately live where I don't like switching wallets, and I can't really get away with that going to work. So I'm a front pocket wallet kind of guy. I've been to enough places. I've been to a lot of places that you can get pickpocketed, so I don't do back pocket wallet, the Costanza wallet. Plus it messes up your butt if you sit on it. So this is from Proof Wallets. It is one of those kind of front pocket metal dealies. I think it's pretty sweet, only because it's got titanium on it. It's got a couple scratches, but let you know I'm using it. It's got a clip on the back where you can put your dollars, for those of you fossils that use dollars. And then you got this guy right here. You can pull the strap, your cards pop out, and you got everything you need. It does have the RFID thing in it, so people can't steal your infos, which I think is pretty cool. Another thing I carry a lot of that people kind of laugh at me with the phone is this. Pen light, stream light. Super bright, super bright, super handy, clips into your pocket, always have it. You're never gonna worry about it until you need it. Yes, I always have my phone. Yes, my phone is a flashlight, but sometimes a flashlight's just easier, especially if you're doing something outside, because this little clip here has another little end to it that if you're wearing a hat with a brim, which I often am, I can clip that to my hat and now I have a poor man's headlamp. So I think that's pretty sweet. Next, timepiece. I came from a world of naval aviation. We have a habit of buying expensive fancy watches. I have a couple of those. I've sold several of them because they didn't really give me that much joy. I tried a smartwatch, an Apple Watch. My wife had it. I borrowed it. You might have seen me in a couple of videos. It was okay. It was a smart enough watch. Battery didn't last long enough and it wasn't tough enough. Then I found that. That is my Garmin Phoenix. I love my Garmin Phoenix. Why? Because it's tough. The battery lasts a long time. I know you don't look at this Adonis-like physique and think this is the after photo, but I am trying to get back into a little bit of shape. It's a great training aid. It's got GPS in it. Battery lasts for days. It's tougher than a bag of rocks. Can't beat it. If you're not looking for that, then go get you a G-Shock. You will not be disappointed. There are G-Shocks roaming the earth from, I think, when the dinosaurs were around. You can't kill them. So, Salty here from the future. You might be wondering, why am I dressed different? Well, that video looked like it was actually gonna run really long, so I decided to cut it short. We're gonna release this one in 2 parts. So EDC part 1 is the clean version, and then EDC part 2 will come out later, which is gonna be the one that might get me yeeted from YouTube, where we talk about things that YouTube doesn't really like, and they tend to demonetize, but we'll give it a shot. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, whatever. Anyway, so stick around for part 2. Thanks for watching part 1 and sticking around, and until next time, Salty. Peace.